This episode is part of our Margaret River Beers series. Today's beer is Beerfarm Milk Stout. Hello from Beer Australia Reviews, and today we will be sampling, tasting and reviewing some Beerfarm Milk Stout. Now, the Beerfarm is one of the small microbreweries that has grown up in the Margaret River region of southwest Western Australia. This is the wine region, and now there's a number of microbreweries and brewpubs around the place, including the Beerfarm. These are places that brew on site. You can go around there and have some of the small beers or small batch beers that they do. And they also they can the beers and send them off around the world, and you can get them in lots of different places. The Beerfarm beers you can get in Perth, Australia, where I live. It's always worthwhile when you go to the Margaret River region to check out some of these breweries and go there for a meal. Now, most of them are just open during the daytime because they're located on the outskirts of Margaret River. The Beerfarm itself is in a small village called Metricup, which is a few miles north of Margaret River. There's only one of the microbreweries that's actually in the town itself, or just outside the town, and that one is the brew house. Every single one of them is worthwhile going and having a beer paddle, definitely having a meal there. I particularly like the Beerfarm as well. The brewery itself is in an old barn that they've now turned into a brewery and a brew pub. It's a nice independent local company in the Margaret River region, and I like the fact that they are caring for the environment as well as making beers. Now, this is a stout, and it's a milk stout. The most famous stout that everyone has heard of, obviously, is Guinness, but stout is not just Guinness. It's made in various parts of the world. All of the microbreweries around the planet as well will make either a porter or a stout, or sometimes both. There's a little bit more to the stouts than just like a Guinness type of a beer. There's more of a varied flavour. Guinness, to me, is a little bit watery and a little bit bland, and some of the other stouts and porters that I've had have got a bit more flavour. The website, it says stout with bitter chocolate and coffee flavours. Now, they have added some lactose into this one, which is milk sugar. So there's not actually milk in there, but they've put milk sugar in. So you will get impressions of milk on the taste buds and it's like a brain thing. It's because you're tasting some similar chemicals to what's in milk, your brain associates that with milk, and that's the flavour that you get. So, okay, let's have a look. It's 5.5% Pilsner malts, pale chocolate malts, roasted barley, rolled barley, and just 2 hops in this one, Magnum and US Cascade. They've added in some extra hops in this one to give it a more rounded flavour. Okay, so let's give it a try. Oh, very dark. Oh, that looks really nice. It looks like treacly chocolate. I'm getting some aromas from this one. I can smell like a chocolatey thing. Lots of fizz. Well, Mr. Beerfarm, you've made it look good, if nothing else, at the start. That's lost its head quite quickly. It's still fizz, and it's still got a little bit of bubbles coming through, and I'm definitely getting some chocolatey and coffee aromas coming through. Now, I know it's the power of suggestion with these things, and once you read it on the website, you then taste the beer, and then you can taste everything what they say on the website. But you need some info to do the beer review, so despite the fact that I should do these blinds, you need a bit of info on what you're drinking. Let's say the head's gone down, but it's still got its fizz, and I'm getting some aromas, so let's give this one a go. Oh, there's burnt aromas in there. You can taste some burnt malts in this. And there's just a hint of coffee. The coffee flavour in this one is more like a chocolate coffee. The sorts of chocolates that you get at Christmas with coffee flavour in them. That's the sort of aromas I'm getting from this one. Oh, but it smells good. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that's an unusual one. The texture is nothing like other stouts that I've had. A lot of stouts are really thick, milky things. If you've had a Guinness and you know about that cold Guinness, lots of bitterness now in the background. And yeah, the coffee and the chocolate are the overwhelming bitter flavours. It's got some sweetness. It's not tasting particularly milky to me though at this point. Let's give my taste buds and brain a bit of time to catch up with it. It's got a bit of a fizzy texture, this one. It's the texture is very much like the lager that they do. My favourite beer from the Beerfarm is it's called a lager, Beerfarm lager, and that's my favourite beer. That's like a really fizzy, lemony, citrusy even a sherbety sort of a lager. On the tongue, it feels the same. It's not really a thick or a milky one as such. So let's see if I can get any of the milk on this one. A tiny little bit of milk texture on the tongue, but now the overwhelming thing on this one, apart from the chocolate and the coffee notes, there's like a really deep bitterness. It gets you at the back. I've still got that milky tongue texture, but also right at the back there's a lot of bitterness. This is a really unusual stout. It's really nice. It's a nice flavoured beer. It's dark in colour, it's mostly opaque, a little bit of light coming through. Not any head on there anymore, gone completely. There's still a little bit of fizz, but on the tongue you still get some fizz coming through as you taste it. Oh, it's the fizz. It's still got fizz. That's unusual for stouts. You expect a stout to be smooth and creamy, but this one has got that. It's got a little bit of milkiness, but then it's still got the fizz and tang on the tongue as if it was like a sherbety lager. That's really unusual. I am liking this beer a lot. If you've never tried the Beerfarm Milk Stout, or you've never had a Milk Stout before, give it a try. If you are a fan of dark beers, which I definitely am, then give this one a try. If you've ever just drank Guinness, I mention no names, Steve, but you need to branch out and try a few other things as well. And this is definitely a good place to start. So let me give this one another go. It's got the aromas and the smell of other sorts of stouts, but like I say, the texture is unusual for stouts. It's different. It's a tangy fizz, which is it's unusual, and an unusual beer that's done in a quality way like this is, because this is just an excellent beer. It's got really high quality ingredients. The water quality in the Margaret River region is really good for making beer, and it's just a nice place to make beer, and they've made a nice beer here. This is the Beerfarm Milk Stout from the Margaret River region of southwest Western Australia. Yep, give it a try. It's really good. Thanks for watching.